The story begins with a huge truck carrying Syrian refugees, trying to slip past the Hungarian border. Among them are Aryan and his father. His father reminds him to guard their papers and keep an eye on the map, just in case they lose each other. The traffickers rush everyone toward small boats. In the chaos, Aryan and his father are split apart. Border Patrol suddenly storms in, and gunfire breaks out. Aryan is thrown into the water and struggles to stay afloat. Underneath an overturned boat, Aryan spots his father hiding. But then, his father begins to sink into the dark water, disappearing before Aryan can reach him. When morning comes, the survivors swim to the shore and sprint through the jungle to escape. Aryan races ahead, running faster than the rest. Soon the police swarm in, scattering the refugees in all directions. One officer named Laszlo corners Aryan. He orders him to stop and raise his hands. Aryan listens, but the officer still fires at him, again and again. Aryan collapses while the police chase after the others. For a moment, Aryan's body lies still. Then something strange happens. His body begins to float upward, as if weightless. Aryan looks shocked, not knowing why this is happening, before he suddenly drops back down to the ground. The next scene shows Dr. Gabor waking up and preparing for work. He once had a career in a regular hospital, but after a mistake during surgery that cost a young athlete his life, everything changed. Now, he works inside a refugee camp. To earn money, Gabor gives out medical referrals that allow refugees to move freely. His girlfriend Vera, also a doctor, quietly supports him. At the refugee camp, one refugee pays Gabor for help. This man had been in Aryan's group and now carries stolen papers under Aryan's father's name. Soon after, a nurse calls Gabor to check on a wounded patient. It is Aryan. His injuries are still fresh, and he asks for help. Gabor agrees to try, but Aryan explains that something strange is happening to him. He says he can fly. Suddenly, Aryan begins to lift off the ground. Gabor is shocked. He stares, unable to believe what he's seeing. The boy floats in front of him, as if gravity means nothing. In disbelief, Gabor splashes water on his own face. When he returns, Aryan is gone. Gabor rushes outside, chasing after him, desperate to find out what just happened. Officer Laszlo corners Dr. Gabor and warns him not to write in his report that Aryan was shot. He explains that if the report shows the truth, it could ruin him. To make things worse, he threatens to expose Gabor for taking bribes from refugees if he refuses. Angry and frustrated, Gabor storms out. Outside, he sees police vans filled with refugees being taken away. Among them is Aryan. Gabor rushes toward the van, trying to stop it, but the vehicle pulls off before he can reach him. Without giving up, Gabor jumps into his car and follows the van down the road. He cuts it off, shows his medical ID to the driver, and manages to take Aryan away with him. The boy is now back under his watch. Meanwhile, Laszlo heads into Gabor's room at the camp, searching for clues. He picks up the doctor's phone and tries to access it. On the screen, he finds something shocking. A video showing Aryan floating above the ground. Gabor takes Aryan to Vera's hospital and runs a scan. To his shock, the boy's injuries are already healing faster than normal. Vera tells him to send the refugee back, but Gabor struggles to explain. Even he has no answers. Aryan slips away and wanders into another ward. Suddenly, he rises into the air, circling above a young boy who is there with his mother. The mother watches in awe and believes it to be a holy sign. She hands Gabor cash as a religious gift. This sparks an idea in Gabor's mind. He asks Aryan if he has any identity papers or passport. Aryan admits he lost everything. Gabor warns him that without them, it will cost a fortune to fix his situation. He then explains that Aryan could earn the money if he uses his gift, but only by doing exactly as told. With no other choice, Aryan agrees. He shows Gabor a map and points to a place, saying his father could be there. Gabor nods, claiming he knows the location and will help him, but he warns Aryan with a serious tone. He must never reveal his power to anyone. The next day, Gabor takes Aryan to the home of a wealthy man. He tells the old man that Aryan has a special gift that could heal him, but it will cost a large sum of money. The man demands proof. Gabor gives Aryan a signal, and Aryan begins to float into the air. The wealthy man stares in shock, unable to believe what he is seeing. Their plan works. They leave with a thick stack of cash. Gabor keeps Aryan's cut, saying he will keep it safe for him. When they reach home, Officer Laszlo is already close behind. To buy time, Gabor distracts him while Aryan slips out through the window. The boy carefully lifts himself into the air, floats down, and lands without being seen. Gabor rushes the car forward, and together they escape before Laszlo can catch them. Needing shelter, Gabor turns to Vera. She is unhappy, knowing what he is doing with refugees is risky, but Gabor insists he has a plan. He promises that money will solve his troubles soon. That night, they hide inside Vera's hospital room. The next day, Gabor takes Aryan to another patient's home for a healing session. The patient mocks Aryan for looking different, but Gabor calmly urges him to continue. Aryan not only floats this time, he makes the entire apartment spin from the inside. Terrified, the patient begs for forgiveness as he clings to the walls like prey inside a turning cage. Meanwhile, Officer Laszlo leads a raid on a hidden refugee shelter. The place is rented under Aryan's father's name, Murad Dashni. They capture many refugees but find no sign of Murad. Laszlo even questions Vera, asking about Murad and Aryan, but she insists she knows nothing. Gabor and Aryan next visit a wealthy architect whose wife is very ill. The man asks Gabor to end her suffering, but Gabor refuses, saying it would be against the law. While this happens, Aryan quietly enters the woman's room. She takes his hand and pleads for help. Suddenly, Aryan begins spinning in the air, floating above her bed. The woman's eyes remain fixed on him as she peacefully passes away. Afterward, Aryan explains that he only did what she asked of him. The architect accepts this with calm relief. He then offers Aryan a large sum of money and promises even more later. But Aryan refuses the cash. Gabor steps forward and takes it instead. Aryan feels uneasy and walks away. Soon he climbs onto a bus, saying he must leave to search for his father. Gabor hurries after him. Aryan follows the map his father left for him and reaches a shelter filled with refugees. He begins asking around, hoping to find his dad. Soon he spots the man who stole his and his father's identity documents. Aryan stops him and demands them back. Shockingly, it's the same man Gabor once helped escape police custody. But this man is hiding something far worse. He is part of a plan to set off an attack on the Budapest metro. When Aryan confronts him, the man bolts, clutching a bag with the bomb inside. Aryan chases after him through the crowded streets. In the rush, Gabor loses sight of Aryan. Both the man and Aryan end up inside the subway. Moments later, the bomb explodes. The station erupts in chaos as people scream and run in every direction. Aryan leaves the subway injured and floats to the roof of a nearby apartment building and lays down when he reached the top, being watched by a shocked woman. Officer Laszlo reaches the scene of the crime and is told by other cops that they found the passports of Aryan and Murad Dashni near the explosion. Dr. Gabor searches everywhere for Aryan, asking his contacts and even offering a reward. but no one has seen the boy. Believing Arian may be gone, Gabor is filled with regret for using him. He visits the family of the man who lost his life because of his past mistake. He offers them money, but when they refuse, he asks for their forgiveness and walks away with heavy guilt. Later, one of his associates calls, saying they found someone with the same tattoo as Arian. Gabor rushes to see, but it turns out to be Arian's father instead. On his way out, he lights a candle at a memorial for the victims of the subway blast. As he stands there, he overhears a woman speaking about seeing an angel above the city. She keeps staring at the rooftop of a building. Gabor follows her gaze and goes up to the rooftop. To his shock, he finds Arian alive. Sitting right there on the rooftop, Gabor and Arian reunite with relief. Arian explains that neither he nor his father had anything to do with the subway blast. But Gabor has to break the hard truth. Arian's father is gone. He promises to take the boy somewhere safe. Noticing Arian's untied shoe, Gabor bends down to fix it. Arian places a hand on his head, and suddenly, Gabor feels a strange calmness, a deep sense of peace. They head to Vera's hospital, but trouble waits. Vera is watching the news, which blames Arian and his father for the explosion. She secretly calls Officer Laszlo and reports them. When Gabor walks in, he realizes she betrayed them. He grabs Arian, and they leave just as Laszlo arrives. The officer chases them, leading to a tense car pursuit. Their car crashes, forcing Gabor and Arian to run on foot. Laszlo drives straight toward Arian at full speed, but the boy leaps into the air and floats above the car. Police arrive and take Laszlo away, while Gabor quietly walks off into the distance. Gabor and Arian check into a fancy hotel, hoping to rest for a while. Gabor explains that he has arranged transport so they can escape soon. Later that night, Arian wakes up troubled. He admits he feels afraid. Gabor tries to calm him, saying it's normal to feel fear. Even he feels it sometimes. With a heavy heart, he also apologizes for using Arian's gift for money. Afterward, Gabor steps out to confirm their escape plans. He thanks a friend for helping, but the man secretly betrays him. He calls Officer Laszlo and the police. Gabor is taken into custody, while Arian is left behind. Officer Laszlo questions Gabor about Arian's location. Gabor pushes back, asking why the officer is chasing a refugee so fiercely. He hints that maybe it's about Arian's strange ability. Or perhaps Laszlo feels ashamed of harming someone seen as an angel. But Laszlo warns him that running has no point. Pressured, Gabor finally gives up the hotel name where Arian is hiding. They head there together. Inside the elevator, Gabor makes a sudden move. He slams the emergency stop. A fight breaks out, but Laszlo overpowers him, leaving Gabor beaten and unconscious. Laszlo then storms into the hotel room and arrests Arian. Later, Gabor regains strength, grabs a police officer as a hostage, and demands Arian's release. Armed cops surround them. An exchange takes place. Arian walks toward Gabor, but the moment feels like a trap. The police open fire. Gabor shields Arian and takes the hits. In a rush, Arian triggers the fire alarm. He tells Gabor to stay where he is, promising to return. Then, the boy disappears into the chaos. Arian rushes through the hotel halls while police fire at him. He keeps moving, but soon Officer Laszlo blocks his path and orders him to give up. Just when it seems over, Gabor appears at the last moment and holds Laszlo back. Arian doesn't wait. He leaps through a window and floats in the air. Laszlo runs to the edge, raising his weapon, but then lowers it. For the first time, he decides to look the other way. Gabor, watching, feels something he has not felt in years. Peace. His heart is calm, knowing he helped the boy. Outside, a crowd gathers. Hundreds of faces stare upward in pure awe. Everyone gazes at the miracle before them, Arian, the flying boy, floating freely in the open sky.